Let's go. Let's go. Look, I want you to listen to me. Listen to me closely. You cleaned up your space. You took control of your environment. You started using the 5-second rule to kill that procrastination, to conquer that little voice of doubt. And that's powerful. That's a powerful thing. You're building a new routine, a new momentum. But what happens on the days when it's all gone, when the motivation ain't there, when you're tired, when you're beat up from the week, when you get some bad news, and that fire that you've been building, it just feels like it's a flicker. What happens then? Do you let the excuses win? Do you give up? Do you take a 0 day? I'm here to tell you, you do not take a 0 day. You understand me? You do not. A 0 day is a day where you do absolutely nothing to move your life forward. Nothing. It's a day you let the excuses win. You let the laziness win. You let the comfort win. And I'm telling you that one day can take out the entire building. That one day is the day that that your inner enemy starts to rebuild. It starts to get strong again. It starts to whisper to you, see, you knew you couldn't keep this up. You knew you didn't have what it takes. And that's a lie. That's a lie that's going to rob you of your destiny. So today's lesson, today's commitment is to the non-0 day. The day where you show up no matter what. Even if it's just for 1 minute, you show up. See, the real secret to unstoppable focus and success is not about being a robot. It's not about having unlimited motivation. It's about being a warrior of consistency. It's about building a chain of actions so strong that it cannot be broken. A chain where one small link, one little act of discipline can hold the entire weight of your future. And that link, that one little act, is the one you make on a day you don't feel like it. The real champions, they're not built in the easy moments. They're built in the hard ones. The real muscle isn't built when you're at 100%. It's built when you're at 10%, when you're running on empty. A 0 day is a debt. It's a debt you're paying to your future self. And that debt accrues interest. It doesn't just sit there, it grows. Every day that you don't work on your dream, that dream gets a little further away from you. That goal gets a little bit more hazy. That little voice of doubt, it gets a little bit louder. You don't have time for that. You don't have the luxury of that. You're too important. Your mission is too important to be putting off what you know you need to do. A 0 day is a choice, and it's a choice that has a massive long-term consequence. I'm talking about the power of the smallest possible step. You've got a to-do list, a mile long, and you're tired. You're overwhelmed. You don't have to do it all, but you have to do something. What's the one thing, the absolute simplest, most ridiculous little thing you can do to move your life forward? Is it one push-up? Is it writing one sentence? Is it making one phone call? It's not about the size of the task. It's about the sanctity of the act of showing up, the act of telling your subconscious, I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I will not give up. I will not retreat. This is a spiritual declaration. This is an act of defiance against the very forces that are trying to pull you back into the sea of average. And listen to the science of it. Your brain, it thrives on momentum. When you complete a task, any task, your brain releases a little hit of dopamine. That's a reward. That's a little blast of good feeling. That's what we need to get addicted to. The reward of getting things done, not the cheap reward of a social media notification or a mindless scroll. So when you're tired, when you don't feel like it, you just need that one little push, that one little step to get that first hit of dopamine, to get that momentum started. Because once you get that little rock rolling, it's a whole lot easier to push it a little further and a little further. You might have planned to run 5 miles and you just feel like you can't even get out the door. So you say, I'll just put on my shoes. I'll just walk outside. And you know what happens? The momentum takes over. That's the power of the non-0 day. It's the power of showing up for yourself when no one else is watching, when no one else is holding you accountable, when all you have is your own will. We are so obsessed so obsessed with this idea of perfection. We want the perfect day, the perfect workout, the perfect moment to start. And that's a lie. That's a lie that's going to kill your dreams before you even start, because there is no perfect moment. There is no perfect day. Life is messy. It's complicated. It's unpredictable. The person who is waiting for everything to be perfect is the person who will be waiting their entire life. The person who is a savage, the person who is a champion. They get to work in the rain. They get to work when they're tired. They get to work when they don't have the answers. They understand that done is better than perfect, and that a little bit of progress is 1,000 times better than none at all. Some of y'all, you're letting yesterday's mistakes, you're letting last week's failures hold you hostage today. You had a bad day. So what? You didn't do what you were supposed to do. So what? That ain't an excuse to not show up today. You can't change yesterday. You can't go back and fix it. But you can be a savage right now. You can be a champion right now. You can take a little piece of today and make a deposit into your future. You have to learn the art, the profound art of forgiving yourself and moving on. A setback is not a final defeat. It's a test. It's a test of your character. It's a test of your will. The key is to compress the setback. You fell down once? Fine. You're going to get back up immediately. You're not going to let one day of failure become 2 or a week or a lifetime of regret. This is your life, and it's time for you to take it back. The non-zero day is not just about what you get done. It's about who you become. It's about an identity shift. You're not just a person who works on their dreams. You're a person who is relentless. You're not just a person who has goals. You're a person who is a doer. You are building the muscle of courage, one small step at a time. And every time you choose to do something, even if it's a tiny, tiny thing, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're telling yourself and you're telling the world, I am a person who finishes what I start. I am a person of my word. My commitment is non-negotiable. That's the kind of power that money can't buy. That's the kind of confidence that comes from within. I'm talking about the emotional tax of a 0 day. You might feel a little bit of temporary comfort, a little bit of temporary relief from not doing the thing you're supposed to do, but underneath it all, that feeling of being a failure, that feeling of being a fraud, that feeling of living in a state of constant low-level anxiety, that's the price you pay. That's the silent killer. That's the weight on your shoulders. You're carrying a backpack full of rocks that you put there yourself. But when you choose the non-zero day, when you make that one little deposit, you're taking a rock out of that backpack. And every single day that you do that, the load gets lighter and lighter and lighter. You're not just building a life, you're building a life of peace. You're building a life of integrity. And let's get real for a minute. The world is full of people who talk a big game. They've got the plans. They've got the vision boards. They've got the motivational quotes all over their walls. But when it's time to show up, when it's time to do the work, they're nowhere to be found. That's not you. That's not us. We are a community of doers. We are a community of warriors. We are a community of savages. You can't get mad at the results you don't get from the work you don't do. The gap between your talk and your walk, that's a canyon. And the only way to get across that canyon is to get to work. So don't tell me about your goals. Don't tell me about your dreams. Just show me your habits. Show me your non-zero days. Show me that you are willing to get up and do the work when no one is watching. I need you to get addicted to a new feeling, not the feeling of comfort. I need you to get addicted to the feeling of relentless progress, the feeling of knowing that you did what you said you were going to do, that you showed up for yourself, that you were the master of your mind and not a slave to your emotions. When you get that feeling, it's like a drug, a good drug. It makes you hungry for more. It makes you want to go back tomorrow and do it all over again. That is the secret to building momentum. That is the secret to building a life you love, one non-zero day at a time. This ain't just about work, y'all. This is about everything. You're in a relationship and you're not where you want to be. Do a non-zero day of communication. Have one tough conversation, just one. You want to be healthier? Do one push-up, just one. It's the small, non-negotiable acts of courage that compound over time. And a little bit of progress every single day adds up to a mountain of success. Don't let your mind tell you, that's not enough, that's too small. That's the lie. That's the lie that will keep you from ever starting. The small things, the little things, they are the things that build empires. And I'm going to tell you something. The hardest part of the non-zero day is the first minute, is that moment when you're just standing there and your mind is screaming at you to turn around, to go back to bed, to just take a break. That's the moment you have to be a savage. That's the moment you have to have the courage to say, no, not today, not ever again. It's a fight against yourself, and it's a fight you have to win. That 1 minute, that one decision is the decision that will determine the course of your entire day. You have to understand the compounding effect. It's the same as your bank account. A single dollar, $1, doesn't make you rich. But if you keep putting $1 and another over time, that money starts to grow exponentially. That's the power of consistency. And it works the same way for your goals. One page of a book doesn't make you smart. One workout doesn't make you fit. But a page every day, a workout every day, that's what builds a champion. That's what creates an expert. That's what builds a life. So stop worrying about the finish line. Just worry about today's deposit. Worry about today's non-zero day. Because every single deposit, every single act of discipline is bringing you closer and closer to your destiny. The reason we have 0 days, the reason we give up, is because we get overwhelmed. We see the entire mountain we have to climb and we just freeze. We look at the top and we say there's no way. But the champion, the savage, they don't look at the top. They look at their feet. They look at the very next step. They just worry about that one step in front of them. They just worry about doing that one little thing. And that's what I need you to do. I need you to stop thinking about the 10,000 word book you have to write and just write one sentence. I need you to stop thinking about the massive debt you have to pay off and just make one extra payment. You've got to break it down. You've got to make it so small that it's just impossible to say no to. This ain't just some rah-rah speech. This is a blueprint for your greatness. This is a blueprint for your life. This is how you change. This is how you become the person you were always meant to be. This is how you go from being a dreamer to a doer, from being a consumer to a creator. You are no longer living in a world of passive hope. You are living in a world of active change. You are not waiting for life to happen to you. You are making life happen for you. And let me tell you something about the non-zero day mindset. It's about a relentless belief in your own will. It's about having so much integrity with yourself that you simply cannot let yourself down. You are your most important client. You are your most important appointment. You are the one person in this world you cannot cancel on. So when you don't feel like it, I don't want you to think about what you have to do. I want you to think about the promise you made to yourself. I want you to think about the person you are becoming. And I want you to show up. I want you to do the work no matter what. The truth is that the greatest successes, they're not built in a day. They're built in a lifetime of relentless, unapologetic, non-zero days. The people you admire, the people you look up to, they didn't get there because they were lucky. They didn't get there because they were born with some special gift. They got there because they showed up every single day, no matter what. They showed up in the rain. They showed up in the snow. They showed up when the world was against them. And that's what made them champions. That's what built their empires. I'm talking about the power, the sheer beautiful power of a single daily act of defiance. Every time you choose to get up and do something, even if it's small, you are saying to the universe, I will not be defeated. You are saying to your own demons, you have no power here. You are saying to your future self, I've got your back. And that kind of self-trust, that kind of self-love is the fuel that will take you all the way to your dreams. Now listen, you're not going to be perfect. I need you to hear me. You're going to have days where you only do the bare minimum. You're going to have days where you stumble. And that's okay. That is okay. But you can't stay down. You can't make one mistake become a habit. You have to get up. You have to get back in the fight. You have to be relentless. You have to go home today. And you're going to write down your non-zero day minimum. You're going to write down the one thing you will do no matter what, even if you're sick, even if you're tired, even if the world is against you, and you are going to commit. You are going to commit to doing it every single day. The non-zero day, it's your anchor in the storm. It's the thing you hold on to when everything else is falling apart. It's the simple act of courage that will keep you on the path, that will keep you moving forward, even when you feel like you're standing still. The road to greatness, it ain't a straight line. It's full of ups and downs and twists and turns. But the non-zero day, that's your compass. It's the thing that will always, always guide you back to your purpose. I'm telling you, the greatest joy, the deepest peace comes from a life of discipline. It comes from knowing, truly knowing that you are in control, that you are the master of your own destiny, that you are the captain of your own ship. The non-zero day is the first step. It's the first deposit. It's the first act of freedom. So get off the bench. Stop waiting for the perfect day. Stop waiting for the perfect motivation, because the time is now, and the person you need to show up for is you. And now I want to get real with you about the psychological burden of a zero day. You see, when you don't do the work, it doesn't just disappear. It doesn't just go away. It lingers in your mind, y'all. It's that little whisper of guilt that buzzes in the back of your head, that little feeling of anxiety that you can't quite place. That's the mental debt of a zero day. It's that little rock in your shoe that you learn to live with, but it's always there, slowly wearing you down. You can't be at peace with yourself if you're constantly breaking promises to yourself. You can't be at peace with yourself if you know deep down that you're not doing what you're capable of. The non-zero day is not about being productive. It's about being free. It's about liberating your mind from the burden of what's left undone. I'm talking about the compound interest of your habits. When you make a little deposit of discipline today, it starts to grow. It starts to attract other good habits. It makes it easier to do the next thing and the next. When you just take that one little step, your mind says, hey, that wasn't so bad. What else can we do? It's a psychological trick. It's a scientific fact. You have to stop waiting for motivation and start generating it yourself. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating it. The non-zero day, that's your first deposit. That's your first act of rebellion against a life of regret. And listen, you're gonna have some hard days. You're gonna have some days where you only do the bare minimum, a 1-minute workout, 1 page read, just one. And I want you to be proud of that day. I want you to celebrate that day, because that day is a victory. That day is a testament to your will. That day is a message to your demons that says, you can't stop me. You can't stop this. A champion's mindset isn't about winning every battle. It's about not being defeated by a single loss. It's about getting back up and getting back in the fight, even when your body and your mind are screaming at you to stop. The greatest reward, the greatest feeling is not the applause from the crowd. It's not the paycheck at the end of the month. It's the quiet satisfaction, the quiet pride of knowing that you did what you said you were going to do, that you showed up for yourself, that you were a person of integrity. The non-zero day, that's not just a strategy, that's a way of life. It's a way of life that will not only make you successful, but it will make you a better human being. It will make you a person who is trustworthy, a person who is reliable, a person who can be counted on. It's about building a character that is as strong as your dreams. So I'm going to say this one last time. The time for talking is over. The time for excuses is over. This is your moment. This is your day. And you are not going to let it be a zero day. You are going to get up. You are going to show up. You are going to do that one little thing you know you need to do. And you are going to make a deposit into your future. And I promise you, a year from now, a month from now, a week from now, you will look back on this day and you will be so proud, so incredibly proud that you chose to be a warrior, that you chose to be a savage, that you chose to show up and you chose to fight. And remember, the non-zero day is the perfect antidote to the paralysis of perfectionism. It tells you that it's okay to not be perfect, but it's not okay to do nothing. It's a rejection of the lie that your work is only valuable if it's flawless. Your work has value because you did it. Your progress has value because you showed up. You are not waiting for perfection. You are creating momentum. You are building an empire one brick at a time, and a non-zero day is a day you lay a brick. It's as simple as that. And a pile of bricks, y'all. That's not a house. That's not an empire. It's just a pile of bricks. But a non-zero day, every day, that's how you build a life. And now I want to talk about the cost of inaction in a different way. We've talked about the mental debt, but what about the spiritual debt? The debt you owe to your own soul, to your own potential. Every time you don't do what you're supposed to do, you are robbing your own spirit of the joy of creation, the joy of progress, the joy of fulfillment. You are leaving your own light in the dark. The non-zero day isn't just a physical act, it's a spiritual one. It's a way of honoring your own greatness, of paying a spiritual tax to your own potential, of saying, I will not let my gifts go to waste. Don't just be a doer, be a creator. You are here to create. You are here to build. And the non-zero day is the first step in that profound act of creation. And for those of you who feel like your life is just too chaotic, too busy, too full of responsibilities to be a warrior, I'm telling you, that's precisely why you need the non-zero day. The non-zero day is your anchor in the storm. It's the one thing you can control when everything else is out of control. It's the one small act of discipline that says, even in the chaos, I am still in control of me. I am still in control of my future. You don't have to be a monk. You have to be a savage. And a savage doesn't run from the chaos. A savage creates order within it. A savage doesn't wait for the storm to pass. A savage learns to sail through it, and the non-zero day is your sail. And finally, remember the law of reciprocity with yourself. What you put into yourself, you will get back. You put in a 0 day, you will get back a little more doubt, a little more regret, a little more anxiety. You put in a non-zero day, you will get back a little more confidence, a little more momentum, a little more peace. It's not a mystery, y'all. It's a law of the universe. And it's time for you to start working with the law, not against it. It's time for you to start investing in yourself, not just in your dreams, but in your character. And the non-zero day is your first and most important investment. So go make a deposit. Let's go. And for those of you who've been trying to do this, who've been trying to be disciplined and failing, I want you to forgive yourself right now. I want you to let that weight go. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter what happened last week. All that matters is that you're here. All that matters is that you're willing to try again. The non-zero day is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about a relentless, unapologetic, savage belief in your own ability to get back up. So get up, get in the fight. Go do that one thing. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's go. And I want to talk about the difference between a 0 day and a rest day. Y'all need to understand this distinction. A rest day is intentional. A rest day is part of the plan. You work all week. You grind all week. And you strategically say, Sunday is my day to refuel, to recover, to spend time with my family, to get my mind right. That's a rest day. That's a powerful tool. But a 0 day is an act of spiritual laziness. A 0 day is when you had a plan. You had a vision, you had a commitment, and you let a feeling, you let a fleeting emotion talk you out of your destiny. A rest day is an investment in your future. A 0 day is a withdrawal. You see the difference? You can't be a champion without rest, but you can't be a champion if you're a slave to your feelings. Don't confuse the two. You schedule the rest, you attack the 0. Some of y'all are dealing with the biggest killer of dreams in the history of the world, all or nothing thinking. If I can't write the whole chapter, I'm not going to write anything. If I can't go to the gym for 2 hours, I might as well not go at all. That's a lie. That's a trap. That's the enemy playing on your desire for perfection. The non-zero day says, I reject that lie. The non-zero day says, I will do something. I will do anything, because a little bit of progress is 1,000 times better than none at all. You got to learn to be okay with the ugly start. You've got to learn to be okay with the unpolished draft, because every great masterpiece started as an ugly draft. And every amazing success story started with one small, uncomfortable step. You have to give yourself permission to be a beginner. You have to give yourself permission to be a student. The savage mindset is not about being perfect from day one. It's about being relentless from day one. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are defined by your refusal to quit. I need you to internalize this. You are the master of your mood. Your emotions are like a car dashboard. They're giving you information. They're telling you you're tired. They're telling you you're stressed. But they are not the steering wheel. You are the steering wheel. You don't get in the car and let the dashboard drive. You feel tired, but you say, I'm going to do one push-up anyway. You feel stressed, but you say, I'm going to meditate for 1 minute anyway. The non-zero day is the ultimate act of emotional intelligence. It's the moment you say, my feelings are valid, but they will not dictate my actions. This is where you separate yourself from the average. This is where you build the kind of character that people look at and say, how do they do it? They do it because they are not a slave to their feelings. They are a warrior of their will. The non-zero day, it builds a chain of self-trust. Think about it. Every time you say you're going to do something, even a tiny thing, and you do it, you are making a deposit into your self-esteem bank. You are telling yourself, I'm a person of my word. I can rely on me. And when you do that, your confidence doesn't come from external validation. It comes from internal integrity. It comes from the quiet, powerful knowledge that you show up for yourself. And when you have that kind of self-trust, there is nothing that can stop you. Because the only person who can stop you is you. And if you've got your own back, if you've got your own trust, then you are a force of nature. So every non-zero day is a promise kept. And a life built on kept promises to yourself, that's a life of unshakable confidence. That's a life of destiny. Y'all, this is a war against your own comfort, a war against your own laziness. And the non-zero day is your most powerful weapon. You will not be defeated by a single day's fatigue. You will not be defeated by 1 day of procrastination. The non-zero day is your daily act of rebellion against the status quo. It's your daily refusal to be average. It's your daily declaration that your dreams are more important than your comfort. So show up for your mission, show up for your family, show up for your purpose, show up for your destiny. And I promise you, you will look back on this journey and you will be so glad, so incredibly glad that you did. Let's go. Let's go. Look, the greats, they weren't great because they never had a bad day. They were great because on their worst day, they still put in the work. On their worst day, they still showed up. You think Michael Jordan never had a day where he didn't feel like practicing? You think Kobe Bryant never had a day where he didn't want to get up at 4 a.m.? Of course they did, but they were so committed to their craft, so committed to their purpose that a bad day wasn't an excuse to quit. A bad day was an opportunity to prove to themselves just how bad they wanted it. The non-zero day isn't for the easy days. The non-zero day is for the hard ones. The non-zero day is for the days when you don't feel like it, because those are the days that build character. Those are the days that build champions. So stop waiting for the feeling. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop waiting for the world to line up for you. You have to take control of your own narrative. You have to become the author of your own story. And the first page of that story is a non-zero day. And the second page is a non-zero day. And the third page and the fourth. And a year from now, you will look back and you will have written a masterpiece. You will have built a life that you can be proud of. And it all started with that one small act of courage, that one small act of discipline, that one non-zero day. Now go get it. Let's go.